All right, good morning, everyone. Got the NASDAQ had a little bit lower today, down about 0.5%. We'll see how that plays out. Transports haven't really moved yet. I think they have a smaller day, a shorter day. Let's see what the ES is doing. What's up, Blah? Down about 1/3%. Okay, no bounce yesterday, which was, I think, kind of the hope after, like I mentioned, the closes to the upside right here. So that's kind of a negative point right there. We're not down a tremendous amount yet. On the ES, we're around the 50-day. We chopped around it here. Obviously, it got chopped around there. The NASDAQ, as we know, we're below the 50-day. And that's not the NASDAQ's NQ Mobile. Got to put the slash in there. And we talked about 3 possible places for us to go. This would be the recent 2 corrections we've had here. This would be a actual correction. This would be a bear market. Really funny how it doesn't look that far, the difference between a correction and a bear market, does it? For some reason it matters, though. For some reason it matters. I find that fairly intriguing. All right, let's take a look at the pre-market movers. Let's go to trading and pre-market stock market watch. All right, let's check them out, guys. Let's take over Boeing this morning. We'll take NVCN, which has quite a bit of volume for a $4 stock. Already 3.2 million shares traded, average of 500,000. That's quite significant. News today. Bond yields. Breakthrough device designation. Okay. If I click on that, my whole thing will stall, so we're not going to click on the article. But it looks like it's at $4 right now. Not fit studies. So it's way up here. Right, $4.02, give or take. So pretty much sitting right there. Pretty good volume down here. I mean, quite a bit of selling. There's a huge doji candle. That's just a massive doji candle. That's that big one right there. Then you have this one, which is a gap up that's sold off. So, not quite sure if this is early accumulation for this news today, or if this news today is just another piece of garbage. But like I said, it's already 3.27 million shares, so the volume is going to open and it's going to be like way up here. So, interesting. That's an interesting one. Not really my trading style, though. ESL. All right, come on. Let's do a 3-year. Yeah, give me more time. 3-year. Daily. Oh, 3-year. You an IPO or something? You're killing me. Okay, so there's a little trend line right there. Looks like we broke. Check NIO. Okay. Let's check it. NIO. Recent IPO pulled all the way back from 14 to 6. And that's on our list this morning as well. So that's pretty good. That's on our list too. Not quite sure what's it at. NIO is at 8 right now. So it's right down there. So it's come out of a little bit of a base. I don't have volume due to the way that Ameritrade does their things, but I can add a volume subgraph right there. So there's a little bit of volume pickup after volume decline through this whole decline. So I'm not really mad at this chart overall. This would be your buy point, however, up here at $13.80. If you wanted to pick it up down here, that's a personal choice of yours. But it's after 2 big up days, usually it would consolidate. It wouldn't like rocket right back. I mean, usually it would kind of U out a little bit. That would at least be ideal from the perspective of a large institution. They won't run it up immediately, but not too bad. TIK, IDT, Naked. That's funny. Looks like retracing that full gap that it had a couple months ago, all the way back down to $2. The volume's not very big, only 2,500 shares traded. IGC, wow, that's a big move. From 0 to 16 back down to 482 currently. Huh. Not my cup of tea. TTOO, that's MOTS, not looking great. TTOO, not looking great. NBEV, actually not looking horrible. Not looking super horrible, at least. So it went up to $10. It's at 573. Good volume right there in NBEV. New Age Beverages, whatever they do, they're doing it. Oh, look at their average volume of 19 million shares. Wow. They put a lot of shares out there. Probably wasn't a smart move. BLE. Ooh, no thank you. TPIV. That is beautiful. Let's come back to that. RADA, AP. Oh, that's not too bad either. APTO doesn't look good. RADA doesn't look too bad. Only 250 shares traded. Average is 133,000. So it's a low float stock. But you can see there's a nice little trend line going right across there. And kind of a cup with handle. Handle's a little low. But not horrible. So if you're interested, volume has been generally declining. RADA, not the worst thing in the world. And it was a TPIV. This is a little more interesting, I think. No volume to no volume again. Average volume. Okay, was it 40,000? That's normal. And then up to 100,000, 500, 600,000, 700,000 average volume. Now we've backed down just under 100,000. You are up at 975, so didn't gap up a bunch. Let's take a look at it on IBD. It's a NASDAQ, which is good. Composite rank of 44, so it's not necessarily a great fundamental stock yet. Looks like it's a biotech. Develops immunotherapies and vaccines for the treatment of cancer and metastatic disease. Oh, I hate metastatic disease. No idea what that is. Group rating is A-. Industry group ranking is 50, so it's pretty good. EPS is 7, which sucks. Lots of red dots. No sales growth. Looks like they're probably a pre-revenue biotech company with nothing going for them except for their relative strength rating of 99. Accumulation of C-, which isn't that great. 1.1 up-down volume, which is what's so good about Eli Lilly. Not so good on this very small cap name. So, yeah, nothing major here from the fundamental front at all. But an interesting chart pattern. Jake sold Lilly. Yeah, I don't blame you. The market's pretty fuddy these days. Definitely pretty fuddy. Every time we cross that 50 on the NASDAQ, we tend to do some weird things. So I don't really blame anyone for doing that. Maybe just the wrong time in the market, but I mean, still the up-down volume is going to be tremendous on this one. This was read yesterday by 0.01%. Close here was 114.23. Close here 114.77. It was read by 50 cents. So.
Your name is Randall?
My name is Randall. Yes. Where'd you see that? Yeah, that's my full name is Randall, yes. It's my son's in the room asking me. Just saw a paper with my name on it of Randall's. Like, your name's Randall? Gotta love kids as they learn stuff. All right, let's say market opens here in about a minute and a half or so. Not a whole lot going on. Not sure if we want to keep TPIV up here, but I think this is interesting little biotech if you want to play those. I'm not sure you enter here exactly. Maybe wait until we try to get over this 10, or maybe this $11 level on TPIV, but it's an intriguing chart pattern. Not a perfect one. It's not a perfect symmetrical triangle, but we've seen these in cryptos often. They tend to work in cryptos. We'll see about little small cap stocks, but that's about that. All right, let's go back. So the distribution day count actually got reduced yesterday. Looks like one of the days expired off of the chart, so we were only at 7 yesterday. Now again, a distribution day needs volume higher than the prior day's volume, so we're not going to get any distribution days as long as we maintain these high volume levels. But by maintaining these high volume levels down here, it may be a chance that we that we curl back up higher. All right, markets open. What do we got up here? We got MyGen up about 7.8%. BECN, these things we don't really see here very often. BECN lower. We got Tilroy up 3%. Looking very good, very nice and tight up here after. What are you doing? What are you doing? After what was a monster move. NASDAQ down 0.7%. Selling off here. I forget why I have that circle there. I think we bounce down here, get to the 50-day and fail. I think is why I have that circle there. No major reason. Transport's open, gapped a little bit lower, down 0.4%. We'll see how that plays out. See if this turns around or accelerates throughout the day here. Lilly hasn't opened yet. Boeing down 0.7%. Not really getting any traction here with their recent market sell-off. But the volume is very muted on Boeing on the sell-off, also with a lot of support days, so I'm not sure if they're actually selling any of it. They may just be buying up whatever supply there is. Boeing is one of those larger cap companies with very good growth potential and great chart patterns nonetheless too. So, see the NASDAQ fight down 0.8%. Every little blink here is a trade. We can probably go to the level 2. Where's level? There it is. And kind of watch these things flow through. Just computer bid and ask here. That's crazy. Just flying through there. Not really getting lower than yesterday's low quite yet. We'll see if we do. What's that? I don't need that. I forget. I don't know what any of these are. I never use these. All right, there you go. Action Trader. That kind of shows you what's going on here. And you can see the volume right here on at these levels. You can watch it just float up and down. Look at that action. Wait, got to scroll to keep up with it. Pretty cool. So 0.7, 0.8, just floundering around down here. Nothing too crazy. Lilly opened down 1/3%. And where are we? We're way up here. Chilling by every quarter of a dollar. Bouncing around. All right, what else is moving? CRISPR up 2%. Doesn't look like anything. Generac generated a hurricane coming up, hence the big volume in the past few days. Funko was looking pretty decent at lows the other day. Plug, XON. TBT is that bond play. Bonds are getting a lot of attention, so we're seeing a little bit of increased volume here. You can see right there the volume increasing. Average will start curling up here. Looks like it is slightly. Stitch Fix, not XON. I thought I clicked it. Yeah, you're bouncing around. I get it. All right, Fizz. Way down here past the 200A. Kind of taking it on the chin here. NASDAQ kind of taking it on the chin too. Down about 0.85%, which will put us a little bit past yesterday, it looks like. And the transports are moving lower. They did not get a bounce at all yesterday. I'm not sure what that comprises of. Composition of NASDAQ transports. NASDAQ Transportation Index. Let's see here. Quite a few, about 50 components. Let's see what the Dow Jones Transportation Index gives us. So lots of volume here. 73.40 and 63.55. There's Boeing. What's not moving today? WB, VIPS, Race. See what Race is up to. I haven't looked at them in a minute. Okay. Bigger consolidation, shopping around the 200-day. Nothing to do there. VIPS, Weibo, just cratering lower. 142 now to 57. Man, who wants to catch that falling knife? Not me. Trip, Align, Align's not looking good at all. Broke through the 50 on some very heavy volume. That is a very clear sell signal for Align. Cores. Under the 200-day. Ooh, Twitter not so much bouncing like we were thinking about yesterday. Reversing here. Yesterday's volume was not super aggressive. It was okay though. NASDAQ now down a full percent. Transport's continuing lower. Probably not going to get very good here. 0.94, 0.95. Nothing major today, guys. Just a little. Not yet. I mean, come on, we're only 6 minutes into the day, so not like I can say a whole lot.
In your office?
All right, now a little down over 1%. See what the volume is extrapolating out to here. Let's you know what? Let's go to the smaller term time frames here. See what the selling pressure is truly like. Okay, so we know the volume's been slowly declining in the mornings here. We had a huge sell-off bar right there. In the morning here we had a big I don't like that little sell-off pre-market. I think Tesla has every chart pattern there is right now, Jake. Tesla's been all over the place. All right, down 1.21%. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that right there. And actually, if you look right there, that kind of looks like our recent market action going sideways, then just a huge drop. So down about 1.25%, bouncing a little bit on this 15-minute. It's kind of so there's without extended hours trading. Hard to see exactly where the days are. I gotta look all the way down there. So right there, we create a lower, then in a Friday. So high volume on Friday. Yesterday, had higher green volume there. And then today a gap down. Yeah, I don't think this bodes well for the day, if you are to believe. So a gap down here after a little sideways consolidation, gap down. Coming up to that low right there, we'll have to see what happens at that 72.87 level if we test that. That's probably going to be our real test right down there. All right, Netflix. Someone mentioned Netflix. Let's take a look at that. Let's look at Tesla first, then we'll look at Netflix. I'm not sure what time frame you're looking at there, Jake. No inverted head and shoulders here that I can see. But Tesla does have a lot of price action. So I'm sure on some time frame there may be, but there's no inverted head and shoulders near there in the past few months. And then Netflix. Now this kind of looks like a head and shoulders with a pretty clear neckline right here. And this could be a breakdown of the shoulder. So shoulder, head, shoulder. Oh, 15 minute. Okay, yeah, I gotta mention that. But Netflix here does on the daily time frame kind of look like a head and shoulders pattern. It's not extraordinarily symmetrical, but it is a reversal type of a pattern, with this being the last swing high. This being the neckline coinciding with is the 200 period moving average, and potentially bringing us much lower. To about the 200 level, which is this prior base here. So that could be, I don't know what time frame that happens and if it even fully happens, but let's go to the weekly. So you can see there that's kind of a very large, maybe considered a parabolic move. And then if that retraces back here to 200, actually let's go to the long-term weekly. All right, it's too many earnings. There we go. I somehow have a feeling this will return to some kind of a normal price action. So even if we got all the way back down there, that would be a pretty big drop though. It's about a 50% drop in Netflix from the high. But there's a potential there for a big drop in Netflix if you're a short seller, if you think the market's going to get much weaker, that could be decent in Netflix for you. What up, Eli? You looking for a stock to short? You just found a Head and Shoulders in Netflix with a target of just over 200 bucks. Right there. All right, so this is being bought up here currently in the first 15 minutes of the day. So that's some good supportive action. Volume there is actually pretty elevated compared to the past few days. So that could be. We'll see how that plays out throughout the day. Wait a second, you just got here. All right, let's back out of here. Let's get out of this 15-minute garbage. It looks like a knife. And coinciding with the circle there, or what? Or you're just saying it's falling? Well, I never said buy there. I'm just doing some commentary. Quad U's. Let's take a look at Quad U's. Well, it's not on my green list today. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at your screen load up, your upload. Oh, just the whole thing sideways looks like a knife? Gotcha. Okay. That is pretty funny. It's like Halloween coming in from the side. So here's Eli's screenshot of a knife. Shing. He's right on that one. Does look like a knife. Transport still clipping lower here. Not a very healthy sign. So if for whatever reason we do go into a correction, pretty much one more bad down day, one more distribution day, we're gonna go into a correction. I think all it's going to require is really the volume signature being higher than any of these is going to take us into a correction. If that happens, we start looking for what's called a follow-through day. Anyone here know what a follow-through day is? It's not super technical, but it is a little bit of an awkward signal for most people. Gonna look for Quad U's while I'm talking about this. See if any of you guys do know what a follow-through day is before I go through and explain it. But it's a pretty important signal. If we go into a correction, it basically confirms a market uptrend again, and that's really what we're going to look for. If the sell-off continues, if we have the higher volume and we end up with another distribution day, we will go into a correction technically, and then we will be on the look for a follow-through day. So no one's answered, so I'm going to assume you don't. What a follow-through day is after the market goes into correction and you have a low. After the fourth day, you're looking for a significantly higher volume candle and a significantly higher price candle. After the fourth day after a bottom. All right. So let's see if we can find an example of a follow-through day. As we break lower here in the NASDAQ, let's see if the volume possibly increases. We'll have to see how that plays out there. And Boeing currently down over 1%, 1.5%. Still above our buy point though. There we go. Man, it's so hard to get a good view in this software. Yeah, so a follow-through day. You can Google that. It's a thing. And let's go take a peek. At what a follow-through day could look like. Yeah, it looks like we may get some continued action here. Just need to see how it closes up, or how it closes. I think market went into correction over here, and so what a follow through day would look like. What a follow through day would look like. So I'm not sure if it went into a correction over here. I don't remember exactly the timeline of that. Well, let's just assume the market's in a correction over here, and we'll see what could be a follow-through day. So, yeah, I think the market was in correction. We had a follow-through day after like 20 days, which is a little bit long, but it sometimes it can take that long. So we have a market in a downtrend here. It would have to be over here because we have a close into new highs. Anyway, let's just assume the market's in a downtrend here. Market's in a correction. And then we've got, so here's your bottom day. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So after this day, you're looking for what would be a follow-through day. This actually could potentially be a follow-through day. Right there, higher volume, 2% higher on the day, which is pretty good. That could be a follow-through day. Right there. This could also, I don't know if this would constitute significantly higher. Ooh, down 1.5% now on the NASDAQ. Sorry, we were down 1.3%, now we're down 1.5%. Not sure if that would necessarily constitute a follow-through day. Both of those are kind of on the margin. In terms of volume, this definitely would be significantly higher. That could be considered a follow-through day. That could be considered a follow-through day. None of these, because the green volume is pretty low, really would be considered a follow-through day. So that day or that day, I'll try to go back and check IBD for for sure what would be the follow-through day. But anyway, that's kind of what you'd be looking for if the market sells off further. We're looking for a follow-through day. Follow-through day concept. Maybe that's the thing they use internally. Story of overhead. On day 4 or later of an attempted rally leading to a follow-through day, an attempt rally takes place during a downturn when a major index closes with a gain. The rally attempt continues intact as long as the index does not make a new low. Yeah, so the index can't go under the low of the follow-through day. That's right. Forgot that little rule. Okay, index closing sufficiently above 1% on increased volume, positive behavior of leading stocks, improved market action regarding support and resistance levels. The most powerful follow-through days happen between day 4 and 7 of an attempted rally. In the wake of a follow-through day, the market should continue to add gains in strong volume with breakouts by top stocks. Further confirmation. So this right here would be a follow-through day by definition, depending how the rest of the market was reacting. This one would not be because it did not make a 1% gain. So this would be our follow-through day on day 5. Which would be good, and we did undercut it, so that would not be a valid follow-through day. We would look for another follow-through day, and like I said, this would be on the cusp of a follow-through day. Would be pretty bullish for something to drop that far and come back. So maybe that would constitute a follow-through day because it never does undercut that low. So I think while looking for a follow-through day, that may qualify, even though it's only 0.6%. Yeah, so I'll just be in cash, Eli. I'm not really gonna be buying anything. I can be in cash, and so cash is, in my opinion, probably the best defensive position you've got. If you had something else in mind, we can chat about that a little bit. We'll see if I got time. I got camping to get ready for, and I got the kids on my butt all the time. All right, down 1.6%. Selling not abating here today. Not yet. Volume's pretty elevated at this level. Volume's pretty elevated. So happily going lower there, not really being bought up. Definitely the trend continues, it looks like. Yep. Definitely not liking this action. Especially for a Wednesday. You usually don't get these major aggressive sell-offs on a Wednesday unless they're distributing pretty badly, and it kind of looks like they are. Our green, we got MyGen up 10%, Generac up 3%, DBX, which isn't having a good day, TZA, which is a triple short, ENDP actually trying to rally in midst of just complete garbageness. Look at that. That's really strong with ENDP. This market turns around, you've got a leader right there. XON, BECN down here, WDR, Restoration Hardware, not having a good day. AMC, very interesting little flag pattern right there. Not really going with the market. All these guys here are going to be, could be potential leaders coming back up. The ones that be the best are the ones going into new highs, like ENDP, 1.7%. 1.8%. (1.9%). Transport's dying too, guys. Transport's on the vine, just not interested. (1.95%). Another bad day today, guys. We bounced at about 2% before. Oh, we got 2% now. Or no, it's 2.5%. So let's we had these lines drawn like this in terms of the breadth of the day. So that's our recent breadth that we've had. So let's see if we maintain that, exceed that. The previous day we had a lot of accumulation. We had this day right here. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I was hoping yesterday for a little bit more of a bounce than that. Didn't get over the prior day's high. Gap or closed even. But if you remember the selling overnight, we had a little bit of a gap down Doesn't look like it here, but if you go to the 15-minute chart, there's definitely a gap down there. So we're coming back to our point where we've been supportive in the past in terms of bar range. Let's see if that holds or it blows through that. If it blows through that, we're going to have a bad day. So here's that prior downtrend right there. All right, finding a little bit of support at that range. This dude's like in the middle of my lawn with his big dog. Oh, they're trying to take a picture with our Halloween decorations. He's forcing his dog to sit. That's funny. I'm like, what are these guys doing in the middle of my lawn? That's funny. They're trying to get this big ass dog to sit, and he just won't sit. And the wife's trying to take a picture. The husband's like, "Come on, dog, sit so we can have this done with." And the wife's trying to get this picture with a big old smile on her face. We got a tombstone out there, and she's trying to get a picture of the dog with the tombstone. And the husband lays the leash down so he's out of the picture, walks away. Dog bolts towards the husband. Oh, that's funny. No, I've actually chatted with those people before. We went on a bike ride with the kids. They're cool people, but I'm just like, it was just weird. I'm like, why are you in the middle of my lawn? That's funny. Get off my lawn! That's how old I am. Screaming about people on my lawn now. All right, so far the selling has stopped. I won't say we've been supported, but the selling has stopped. Yeah, sometimes you got to kind of see what the market gives you in terms of rational things that are happening, because people are still behind this selling, guys. This isn't I mean, obviously some algos are selling here, but it's not like people aren't pulling the strings, and they tend to do the same thing over and over again. So if you see bars that are the same height, maybe this bar will be the same height. In which case it'll probably be a more measured sell-off, which is probably worse than a bigger break, to be honest with you. Measured sell-offs like that don't really rattle people if they see them day after day after day. And before you know it, you're down at my corrective line right there, which is our recent pullbacks in the market could take us to here, which would coincide with this line, which could be decent supportive action for the longer term trend. Going further than that, this is a correction line. This is our bear market line if we end up going past this corrective line. Man, already right back down at 2%. Not really stopping very much at all. So we'll have to see right there. There's a story. Lily's kind of flat on the day from where it opened. Not really flat, but just from where it opened. And Boeing down 2% now. The volume is pretty low here. But the market is not looking healthy. Look at the transports. The transports here, just straight lower. Just straight up lower. Like I've never seen... Well, I don't really watch the transports, but look at that. Just boom. Like they're just killing the transports. That is not good. So yesterday we saw the we haven't looked at the minutia of the transports. I don't really ever look at this chart unless the market situation is in flux, the overall market trend. And that is not bueno at all. And you can see right there, yesterday we had a nice decline, but today, I mean, we're down already down 3% in the transports, and they're not giving up. They're just selling this thing. Maybe it is oil a little bit, maybe it's something else, but I'm not liking any of this. I'm liking it less and less and less. So I think I'm just ditching stuff here. Whatever I do have, my little bit of Eli, my little bit of Boeing, and then I'm just going full cash here. We may go full-blown correction today, guys. I'm just not liking it. Try to limit the damage here. Go all cash. I mean, it could turn around, but I don't know, guys. I'm just not super enthused. Transport's crashing like that. We could get some support. It's still only half an hour into the trading day, but you know, it's just one of those situations where we're below the 50-day. We're breaking down a little more. You got Boeing breaking down. So we're probably at least, I think we're at least going to do this 12% down to here. Just the way this breakdown goes with today's action. Yesterday I was a little more bullish, but I really didn't like the close yesterday. I mean, you know, we talk in the morning, we talk during the open. Whoops. Really don't talk throughout the rest of the day, but I was not enthused with how that closed. I was hoping it would hold higher. But, okay, now we've fully met our target there in terms of the day breadth range, so let's see if we turn around. Oh, we got a green print on the transports. So keep in mind I closed most of my positions up here. I did buy a little bit of Lilly the other day, and I'm just closing it all. Just kind of in defensive mode. Even if we rally back up through, we'll see how that behaves. I don't know why I have this here anymore. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Look at that, we stopped right at that range from these previous days. This isn't necessarily bear on stocks, Eli. It's a potential correction. It's pretty much all it is. Is a potential correction. Like we say, the close usually tells the story. So we got to see what we do into the close. I mean, we're down 2% this early. So it's hard to say if we have, you know, a worse day than this, or if we go back and bounce from here. But maybe I just got fudded out of those two positions. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But the volume here is pretty elevated for only a half hour into the trading day. If this sell-off continues and we see, again, one more distribution day in the market is technically in a correction, and then we're looking into looking for a follow-through day. So you're not looking at entering positions at least for 4 days after a correction starts. That would be the most prudent thing for an investor to do at this moment. And I mean the volume so far has been elevated compared to previous days. You can see right there how elevated that volume is. Right there. There's that breakdown, that gap down, very similar little gap down here. We showed that if we took the extended hour session off. Already cleared this low, so well, NQ is the futures market of the NASDAQ. QQQ is an ETF of the NASDAQ. The futures trade 24 hours, so I can see more sentiment by looking at that. So let's, like, I don't have to go to an extended hour session to see what the overnight high and low is essentially. All right, and there's a green print on the transports. Yeah, I probably sold that. Probably sold the low print of the day there in terms of those two positions. Lovely. But I think longer term, maybe that's good. Okay, so there's the NASDAQ. And let's make this the Qs. And you can see the difference for yourself. So, it's not night and day. They're going to show the same thing, but the overnight sessions are going to be different. So you see here, the close popped higher and then went lower. Here, there was a gap. There's a gap right there. There's no gap right there. So this is a futures close. These also trade slightly extended sessions, and they're traded by professionals. This is traded a lot by non-professionals, a lot of retail investors, the Qs, and also a lot by professionals because it's still an index ETF, but only professionals pretty much trade the NQs. You don't see any retail traders trading futures. But mainly the after-hour session, the fact that, like, when I get in here and look at my screen, everything says 0, but unless I'm looking at the futures. That's basically why. So, all right, guys, bouncing from that low print right there, and right where we drew this line of what is these prior 3 approximate day ranges. So I'll have to see how this goes throughout the day. But the volume's pretty elevated. If the selling, I doubt we're going to go all the way. We could go all the way up through this. I've seen stuff like that happen in the past, taking a super bullish, super quick. Don't know if that's in the cards, but if the volume stays elevated and we get another red day, we're going to have a correction and therefore a distribution. If we have a distribution day, which is higher volume than the previous days, we're going to be in a correction in the market, and that's going to take us lower, probably at least down to here. The way it's looking right now, we'll see what the close has to do today, and past that, hopefully we stall here and can retrace. But the market does need good washouts from time to time. We haven't had too many of those, so if it is a corrective action, probably would be a good thing. And yeah, we'll just have to take the market and trade what it gives us. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna bounce out of here. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.